Her design somehow became the center of endless online screaming. And honestly, a lot of the discourse around her just irritates me. People complain that she doesn't look like a normal girl and immediately leap toward some pretty bizarre and sometimes outright disgusting conclusions. But she's an android. That discomfort is intentional. What a lot of people seem to miss is how heavily her design draws from anime aesthetics. Slightly oversized eyes, a tiny nose, soft doll-like proportions. It's a Japanese studio filtering kawaii sensibilities through an almost hyper-realistic rendering style. That collision of styles is exactly what's triggering the uncanny valley response in people. But for a story about an artificial being, it makes total sense. Your brain recognizes enough humanity to empathize with her, while simultaneously detecting something subtly artificial underneath the surface. And it's that uncanny little android girl that brings us back to the center of all the noise surrounding Pragmata, the dad simulator discourse. Which is an insane label, by the way, because as we all know, the true gold standard of dad simulators is the 2015 release, Shower with Your Dad. Pragmata, by comparison, is just a story about a guy in a suit with a very expensive daughter-shaped backpack. The actual narrative core of Pragmata is aggressively simple. You play as Hugh, the sole survivor left on the moon that has been transformed into a digital nightmare by a rogue AI system called IDIS. Your only mission is to protect Diana, a mysterious young android girl who seems to be the only thing IDIS can't fully control, and get back to Earth. That's it. That's the whole pitch. Which is why I find the pro-natalist dad simulator label so bizarrely disproportionate to the actual shape of the game. Never mind why that would necessarily be a bad thing. The quieter moments between Hugh and Diana, watching her fiddle with the gifts you've collected, receiving one of her little drawings, playing hide-and-go-seek with her back at the base, are brief flashes of warmth scattered across an otherwise cold and relentless experience. They probably account for 5% of the game's total runtime at most, and treating those scenes as the ideological thesis of the game feels absurdly reductive. Calling Pragmata a dad simulator because Hugh gradually softens towards Diana is like calling Jurassic Park a pro-family manifesto because Alan Grant starts the movie disliking children and ends it by bonding with a couple of them. Like, no. Jurassic Park's about fucking dinosaurs. And it's about humanity's arrogance, the danger of trying to meddle with nature and dominate forces we don't fully understand. Alan's emotional arc exists, sure, but it isn't the point of the film. It's just texture, a thread running through a much larger experience. Pragmata works the same way. The relationship between Hugh and Diana gives the story emotional grounding, but it isn't the ideological center of gravity people online keep insisting it is. The reaction to the game says far more about the atmosphere of the internet right now than it does about anything present within Pragmata itself. Because the real identity of Pragmata isn't ideology, it's pressure. The game is a sensory overload, constant frantic cognitive plate spinning. You're dodging incoming enemy attacks, managing positioning, protecting Diana, solving hacking sequences in real time, juggling movement and defense while everything around you threatens to collapse into chaos. That pressure, that layering of mechanics and tension, is the actual heart of the experience. The game isn't trying to lecture you, it's trying to overwhelm you. And that's what makes this discourse around it feel so strange. The hyper-political crowd on both sides is so busy trying to claim the game as validation for their worldview, or condemn it as evidence of everything they already distrust in the opposite worldview, that they completely miss what's actually sitting in front of them. Narratively speaking, there's very little here to fight over. In a weird way, the story works precisely because it's such a vacuum. It leaves empty space around its characters instead of over-explaining them. And people seem almost incapable of allowing that emptiness to exist. They rush to fill it with themselves. Their anxieties, their politics, their obsessions. Because modern discourse treats ambiguity like a void that must be immediately filled. Meanwhile, Pragmata itself remains almost hilariously indifferent to all of it. The game just keeps moving forward, polished, mechanical, laser-focused on being a high-octane escort mission wrapped in a gorgeous sci-fi spectacle. It doesn't seem remotely interested in participating in the arguments orbiting around it. People are screaming at each other about what the game really means, while the game itself is too busy throwing killer robots at your face to care about what's in your Twitter feed. And maybe that's the quiet irony of it all. The emptier the story leaves its space, the more urgently people reveal what they need it to mean. And in doing so, they end up writing themselves into it, far more clearly than the game ever did. Thanks for watching.
Teammates look out for each other. And we're a team, right?